Under the bright lights of the WTA Tour, Aryna Sabalenka plays with firepower, passion, and precision. But fame never lets you rest. Whispers began when she started asking around, not for a new coach, or a match strategy, but for silence, for privacy, for an escape. Now, fans and rivals are wondering the same thing. What kind of getaway is Aryna hiding? And who's she running from this time? Imagine this. You're at the absolute peak of your career. Cameras follow your every move. Millions watch your triumphs and your tears. And all you want is one weekend. One quiet weekend where nobody knows where you are, where the world can't find you, where you can just breathe. That's exactly what Aryna Sabalenka is fighting for right now. The Belarusian powerhouse. The woman who smashes tennis balls at 120 miles per hour, who dominates Grand Slam finals with raw force and unshakable will, is doing something completely unexpected. She's quietly reaching out to her rivals, her competitors, the very women she battles on court. And she's asking them for something deeply personal, something vulnerable. Don't ruin this for me, because Aryna Sabalenka has planned an escape, an intimate getaway, a moment of peace in a life that rarely offers any. And the last thing she needs is for the world to find out where she'll be, or worse, who she'll be with. This isn't just about privacy. This is about protection. Protection of something fragile, something real, something that exists outside the lines of a tennis court. And right now, in the high-stakes world of professional tennis, where rivalries are fierce and secrets are currency, Aryna is taking a risk. She's trusting the very people she competes against. She's hoping they'll understand. She's hoping they'll respect what she's trying to protect. But will they? Let's go back. Let's understand who Aryna Sabalenka really is. Because this story doesn't start with a secret getaway. It starts with a girl who had fire in her veins before she ever held a racket. Aryna was born in Minsk, Belarus, in May of 1998. Her father, Sergei, wasn't a tennis coach. He wasn't even a tennis fan. He was a hockey player. Tough, gritty, the kind of man who understood what it meant to fight for every inch. And he saw that same fight in his daughter. From the moment Aryna picked up a tennis racket at 6 years old, something clicked. It wasn't just talent. It was aggression. It was power. It was a refusal to back down. Her father pushed her, not cruelly, but firmly. He knew she had something special, something raw that needed to be sharpened. And Aryna, she didn't just want to be good. She wanted to dominate. But here's the thing about dominance. It comes at a cost. As a teenager, Aryna was already turning heads. Coaches noticed her massive serve, her ground strokes that could rattle opponents, her fearlessness at the net. But they also noticed something else: her emotions, her intensity, her inability to hide what she was feeling. On court, Aryna wore everything on her sleeve. When she was winning, she roared. When she was losing, she crumbled. And critics were quick to label her unstable, emotional, too wild to ever win the big one. She heard it all. And it burned. By her early 20s, Aryna was climbing the rankings. She was winning titles. But the major championships, the Grand Slams, they kept slipping through her fingers. She'd make deep runs. She'd reach semifinals, finals even. But when the pressure reached its peak, something would break, and the world watched. The world judged. In 2021, she lost in the Wimbledon semifinals. In 2022, she made it all the way to the US Open final, and fell apart. The errors piled up. The frustration boiled over. And once again, the narrative was written. Aryna Sabalenka. Incredible talent, but mentally fragile, except ... She wasn't fragile. She was learning. Behind the scenes, Aryna was doing the work nobody saw. She was sitting with sports psychologists. She was rewiring the way she thought about pressure, about failure, about herself. She was learning to channel that fire instead of letting it consume her. And then 2023 happened. The Australian Open, Melbourne, the heat, the noise, the expectation. Aryna walked onto that court for the final, and something was different. She was calm, focused, powerful. She dismantled Aryna Sabalenka in straight sets. And when she hit that final winner, when she dropped to her knees and let out a scream that shook the stadium, she wasn't just celebrating a title, she was proving everyone wrong. Aryna Sabalenka was a Grand Slam champion. And she wasn't done. Just months later, she defended her Australian Open title in 2020 for back-to-back victories. The same tournament where she'd once been written off as mentally weak. She owned it now. She was unstoppable. But here's what most people don't understand about reaching the top. The higher you climb, the lonelier it gets. Aryna's life became a whirlwind. Training camps, tournaments on every continent, media obligations, sponsorship deals, fans screaming her name in 20 different languages. It was everything she'd ever dreamed of, and it was exhausting. And then there was the scrutiny. The constant, suffocating scrutiny. Because Aryna wasn't just a tennis player. She was a public figure. And public figures don't get to have private lives. Every relationship, every friendship, every moment of joy or sadness, it all became content. It all became a headline. And in 2023, Aryna faced something that changed her forever. Her ex-boyfriend, Konstantin Koltsov, a former professional hockey player, tragically passed away. The grief was unimaginable. And instead of being allowed to mourn privately, Aryna had to navigate her pain in the public eye. Reporters asked her about it. Fans speculated. Social media exploded with theories and rumors. She held it together. Barely, but inside, something shifted. Aryna realized that if she didn't protect her personal life, no one else would. If she didn't set boundaries, the world would take everything from her. Her joy, her peace, her ability to be human. So she started building walls. Not to shut people out, but to keep something sacred. Something just for her. And now she's found something worth protecting. Rumors have been swirling for months. Whispers in the tennis world. Sightings that don't quite add up. Smiles that linger a little too long. Aryna has been linked to someone she cares about deeply. Someone who isn't part of the tennis circus. Someone who reminds her what it feels like to be Aryna. Not Sabalenka, the champion. Just Aryna. And she wants one weekend. One perfect, uninterrupted weekend where she can escape. Where she can be with this person without cameras. Without headlines. Without the world watching. But here's the problem. The WTA Tour is a small world. Everyone knows everyone. Players travel together. Stay in the same hotels. Eat at the same restaurants. And gossip spreads like wildfire. If Aryna's destination leaks, it's over. The paparazzi will find her. Fans will track her down. The intimate escape she's been planning for months will turn into a media circus, so she's doing something extraordinary. She's reaching out to her rivals. Women like Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, Aryna Sabalenka, Ons Jabeur. The same women she battles for rankings and titles. And she's asking them, personally, to keep her secret. It's a gamble. A huge gamble. Because these women are her competitors. They're not her enemies, but they're not exactly her best friends either. On court, they want to destroy each other. They want to win. They want to be number one. And information. Information can be power, but Aryna is betting on something deeper. She's betting on humanity. On the understanding that everyone, Even the fiercest competitors deserves moments of peace, of privacy, of love. And you know what? Early reports suggest it's working. Players are responding with empathy, with support, because at the end of the day, they all understand. They all live under the same microscope. They all crave the same escape. And if they can help one of their own find a moment of happiness, maybe that's worth more than any competitive edge. IGA CVA Tech, Aryna's biggest rival, reportedly told her, "You deserve this." We all do. Coco Gauff, the young American star, simply said, "Your secret's safe with me." And Ons Jabeur, known for her warmth and kindness, reminded Aryna that they're all human first. Players second. It's a beautiful moment. A reminder that even in the cutthroat world of professional sports, compassion can exist. But here's the twist. This story isn't just about Aryna protecting her privacy. It's about what that privacy represents. For years, Aryna has been the powerhouse, the aggressive baseliner who crushes opponents with sheer force. She's been the player who screams and fights and wears her heart on her sleeve. She's been intense. But this moment, this quiet, vulnerable moment where she's asking for help, it shows a different side, a softer side, a side that's been there all along but rarely gets the spotlight. Aryna Sabalenka is a warrior on court. But off court, she's a woman who's been through unimaginable loss, who's battled her own demons, who's learned to protect what matters, and who's finally finding something that feels like peace, and she's willing to trust her rivals to protect it. That takes courage. Real courage, because the truth is, this escape could still be ruined. One leaked photo, one careless comment, one person deciding that a story is worth more than a promise, and it would all come crashing down. But Aryna is choosing to believe in people. She's choosing hope over fear, connection over isolation, and isn't that what we all want? To be seen, to be understood, to be protected when we're at our most vulnerable. This story is bigger than tennis. It's about what it means to be human in a world that never stops watching. It's about the cost of fame and the fight for intimacy. It's about trusting people who have every reason not to help you, and doing it anyway. Aryna's escape is happening soon. Maybe it's already happened. Maybe right now, as you're watching this, she's somewhere quiet and beautiful with someone who makes her laugh. Someone who doesn't care about Grand Slam titles or world rankings. Someone who just sees her, and maybe, just maybe, her rivals kept their word. Maybe they protected her. Maybe they gave her the gift of one weekend where she could just be. We'll probably never know the full story. And honestly, that's how it should be. Because some moments aren't meant to be shared. Some moments are just for us, but what we do know is this. Aryna Sabalenka is rewriting the narrative. Not just as a tennis player, but as a person. She's showing the world that strength isn't just about power and aggression. It's also about vulnerability, about asking for help, about protecting what you love, and in a world that constantly demands more, that constantly takes without asking. That's revolutionary. So here's to Aryna, to her courage, to her escape, and to the rivals who chose kindness over competition. If this story moved you, it made you think about what really matters, hit that like button and subscribe to Luminoir. We bring you the real stories behind the headlines. The human moments that remind us we're all just trying to find a little peace in this chaotic world. Drop a comment and tell us what you think. Should celebrities get private moments? Or does fame mean giving up everything? And remember, sometimes the greatest victories happen off the court.